Today on Cityline, watching your wallet, tips to save money and resources making a difference during tough financial times.
And the president's not working on an affordability agenda.
They have a new word, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability.
Boston has made tremendous progress on housing affordability.
We had a relentless focus on economic issues, on affordability.
More and more, we are hearing about what some call the affordability crisis. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Piñate. According to a recent Suffolk University Boston Globe poll, 1 in 3 participants said they have considered leaving Massachusetts because of the cost of living. Among their biggest concerns, inflation and the cost of living, healthcare costs, and housing affordability. The Midas Collaborative works to advance the financial security of low and moderate income residents across Massachusetts. Executive Director and President Rose Francois joins us this morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me today.
The Midas Collaborative takes a multi-pronged approach to advancing wealth. What is the strategy behind this and what makes this effective?
We are committed to supporting low to moderate income communities, and the 3 levers that we use to do that are asset building. And so for us, that looks like match savings programs where folks are able to save their money and then have that money matched. Secondly, financial education. We know that financial education is something that is learned. You're not born knowing it, and so we want to make sure we're expanding that. And then making sure that we're working with our legislative partners, creating systems that then are ensuring that folks are able to have things that support them in creating wealth.
Very important tools. Now, what is the economic landscape for Massachusetts families right now, and what are some of the factors that are driving financial hardship in our communities?
Everyone is feeling the pinch. It is incredibly just a taxing and kind of just, I think, scary time for a lot of families. Think about the conversations that folks are having at the kitchen table, and it's ones about how are we saving money, how are we able to keep our money. One of the major factors is housing. We know that this is one of the most expensive cities and one of the most expensive states, and what we're seeing is folks are spending a lot of money to find housing and to keep housing. Most residents are paying more than 50% when it comes to just being able to find housing, and that's really eating away at their income.
It's for some people, it may be hard to think about saving when they are living paycheck to paycheck. Who is being hit the hardest right now in terms of affordability?
Unfortunately, it is low-income residents, especially Black and Hispanic communities, who historically are renting due to structural inequalities. And what we find is it really was hard for them during the pandemic. It has been hard for them. But now, with rising costs, we see that their wealth is being eaten away, and we see that even people in moderate income brackets are kind of sliding back into low income brackets. And so any of these communities that have struggled are struggling even more.
It sounds like it's a snowball effect here, one thing after another. You do provide some solutions for these people who may be struggling. What are some short-term solutions and what budgeting tools can people use?
Absolutely. With Midas, what's really exciting is we work with other nonprofits. And I always like to say when it comes to giving advice, it really depends on where you are at. So if you're someone who's low income and you're not sure what to do first, I always recommend, know your numbers. So understand where's your money going. Just look at your credit card statements, understand where you're spending your hard-earned dollars. And a very important tool is avoiding payday loans. These are really kind of impacting low-income communities right now because they are feeling the pinch and they're looking for solutions that actually make the situation worse.
And let's talk about the long-term solutions here. Some people may not consider investing. A lot of people are still living paycheck to paycheck. It might be nerve-wracking to think about investment. What is your advice to them?
I always say I'm not a professional, financial expert. Luckily, there are a lot of resources and financial experts that can give advice, but when it comes to investing and, what are your necessities, making sure you are taking care of yourself. The 3 big things are you able to pay for food, housing, and utilities? These are the areas where we see costs rising. This is what people are kind of thinking, I need to think about day to day. Yes, and is usually my kind of advice in terms of how are you saving? Match savings programs, which we have, are a great example that create that kind of lifeline. The most important thing is, do you have an emergency plan? Do you have money for a rainy day? most Americans are not able to cover $1,000 expense. And so putting $1 away makes a difference. And so always investing in your future, whatever that looks like, whether that's the stock market, whether it's putting cash in an envelope, makes a difference.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Yes,
Rose Francois, thank you so much for your knowledge and sharing that with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, fighting homeowner headaches with affordable solutions, how a local organization is giving homeowners a framework to succeed with a hands-on approach to saving money.